Line Podcast. All right, so we're on podcast number
13, lucky number 13.
Lucky number 13.
Ooh.
What do you did you see how you took a drink of that?
I didn't even plan that out.
Yeah, okay.
Nice.
So we are with our, how many guests has this been already?
I think Matt is
First.
The fifth?
Fifth.
Sixth? I don't know. He's one of them.
1, 2,
And
3, 4. Fifth.
So we have, how does it feel, Matt Breuer? I love that, the Breuer sound. I'm from Wisconsin. We got the Brewers over there.
Yeah.
But I don't want to associate you to Wisconsin. How does it feel being one of our guests in the Broken Line, being that we've been friends with you for a long time?
Well, it feels like I haven't seen either of you in like 10 years because
This is true.
I see Patrick drive by and I live like 5 miles from here. So it's super crazy, but
And I usually throw a honk, but I never stop because I don't know where you're at.
I like the honka.
You do?
I do. I like the honka.
All right. Well, and during the week I'm leery because I don't know if you're sleeping.
Honk away.
Let her rip.
Let her rip.
All right.
Yeah, so the sleeping thing, your job, as we kind of talked with, I think, Jason, that you are sleep during the day and you're awake at night. Is that correct? Or
Well,
you try
some.
to? You can't completely turn into an owl like that. But
I work like 6 or 9 nights a month. So the rest of the time I work days and nights and pretty much all the time.
So what do you do for a real? I'm not even gonna throw the definition of a real job, and you know what I'm saying when I say a real job.
Yeah, no, the one that
The 9 to 5.
the one that pays the mortgage.
The one that pays the bills. Yeah.
I'm a sleep specialist, diagnostic sleep specialist. I manage the sleep lab, or am the lead of the sleep lab here in town. So diagnose and treat people with like sleep apnea, night terrors, night tremors, bedwetting. You were in last week.
Yeah, I was just in there for the.
No, stuff like that. That's my jobby job, and then all the other stuff.
Yeah. So with your real job comes the not so. Oh, it's a real job, but the fun stuff, right? So with a person that has a 9 to 5 or whatever your schedule is, being able to do everything that you do, which I mean the list. I mean,
it's huge.
Yeah, from
Yeah,
TV
it's
show
big.
work to magazines to writing to guide service to list more and more.
Yeah.
That obviously is your passion.
Yeah,
The
for
outdoor
sure.
stuff. But you got to pay the bills,
Right.
in order to sponsor that funness.
People. I'm just gonna throw this out there in a public forum. So people are always asking like, why don't you just do that stuff full time? Like you guide enough to be full time. Why don't you do that?
True, you're a big guide service around here.
Well, I have a medical degree and I work in a hospital and I get insurance and 401k and stuff. So
you get grown up.
Yeah. That insurance and 401k is subsidized and.
Yeah, so I'm not going to be a fishing guide full time. I love being a fishing guide, and I do it some weeks. I do it full time. Some weeks I'll work 44 hours at the hospital, and then I'll guide for 36, and it's like 2 full time jobs. But I'm not going to give up my hospital job to sit in a boat.
Yeah. So. It's funny that it's like, it's not I don't work at Jimmy John's. Like it's a hospital job, and there's a lot of perks to it.
Yeah, like why don't you quit your gas station job and just guide full time? Then it'd be
sure.
Legit.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
$8 an hour, $9 an hour. I'll quit that.
Although like McDonald's and Culver's and stuff.
13, 14, 15.
Yeah,
$22
they're dishing
an
it
hour.
out, man.
Yeah, but you only get like 10 hours a week.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like McDonald's, that's their model. They hire an army of people.
Yeah,
and you'll get scheduled for like 10 hours.
Oh, that'd be
you
wonderful.
might be making $15 an hour, but you might get 8 hours a week or 10 hours.
Clever.
There's the catch.
Clever.
Yeah, so then you're just really getting the same pay as if you were to work a full
I'm a businessman. I understand it. I like it. I like it.
Well, you wanted to talk to him about his guide service. Let's get into the guide service.
No, I don't know how long we've known each other. Like we were saying earlier, it's been a long time. But what caught my eye when I first met you, Matt, was you have a kind of an unusual guide service. You do the fishing, and bear hunting.
Mhm.
Now we had Tim Humphreys in here. He's a bear guide as well. But what really caught my eye was, and I believe, are you the only edibles guide in northern Minnesota?
In northern Minnesota, I'm the only person I know of, and in the whole state, there's only 2 of us that I know of.
Oh, really? And that was my next question was, do you know of anybody else in the state that guides for edibles, wild edibles?
Yeah, there is a gentleman. Oddly enough, his business is Gentleman Forager, but Mike
Clever.
Kempenick, he kind of mentored me on a lot of the wild edible stuff. So, and we've done some like forays together where we do large groups.
Okay.
And he knows everything. Like he
Just an encyclopedia.
he might not know how to tie a shoe, but he knows every plant and
That's super
fungus. Cool. I mean, the guy's a genius. So
he's kind of nerdy in that sense, the survival sense. Like he's gonna know.
yeah, like the cool nerdy.
Yeah,
like,
the cool. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, like the
I
kick-ass nerd.
I don't think we've talked any nerdiness on this that wasn't cool.
right.
Right.
Yeah. When I say nerdy, I mean like
And
in a
you
smart,
answered-
cool,
Right,
nerdy.
yeah,
way.
that-
You ended up answering my next question was like, how did you like get into the whole wild edibles thing? Did you just like, you know what, I'm gonna learn through books and then just try guiding?
Can you?
But I did not know that you had a mentor.
What is an? I mean, I know what when you say edible. I mean, what are you thinking for edible? What are we talking here?
We like move leaves aside and look for Tootsie Rolls that little
Tootsie
kids
Rolls?
drop during Halloween. No,
Hey, to be honest, this is just after Halloween. So this is the after. I got my.
I like it.
I got a shirt that "This is my human costume. I am really a pickle."
I like it.
That's. I mean, okay. I'm on another level here, but tell me a little bit about some mushrooms, edibles. What?
Yeah, so like
there's multiple, right?
yeah, mushrooms, plants. I mean, watercress. There's a lot of weird things that people don't know you can eat. So some of it falls into like the survival aspect of things. So like cattail shoots, or they call them cattail hearts. It's like the interior soft tissue of the cattail right before the root. It's extremely tasty, very good for you. It'll fill you up.
Definitely survive. We're talking survival stuff for
Yeah,
some people.
like-
I
like
mean, not for you. I mean, you like.
Like I'm not gonna go pick some cattail shoots and be like, hey kids, we're having cattails or
No,
something.
Dinner,
Sign me up.
just as good as Reese's.
Okay, it's the root. Because when you first mentioned cattails, I'm like, well, that brown fuzzy end's gonna be a bit dry. You have to get
Throw
some water.
Throw
Lots
some
of mustard. Yeah.
Nature's corn dog.
Nature's corn dog.
No, but yeah, there's millions of things out there. Mostly, we mostly deal in. We're kind of in the blueberry area,
Yep.
so we deal in blueberries a lot, and then mushrooms, like mushrooms. Like morel season, this past year I couldn't fit another person in. Like I was turning people away, and I had guys.
And there's multiple mushrooms, right? There's the orange one, which I can't think of.
There's like 30,000 orange ones, but
What's the
chicken of the woods,
lobster? Or
lobster mushrooms.
Yeah.
They're orange.
Just weird names.
Yeah, and
Now, is there any mushrooms in northern Minnesota that can kill you?
yeah.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, we've got the Angel of Death,
Oh,
which
shit.
she
Sounds intense.
she sounds sexy and mean, but
Could you imagine the
but
first
you
person
die.
that ate it and they're like, we're naming that?
See, I
yeah,
was told that there was none here that could kill you.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
make you real sick.
no, there's the Angel of Death will kill you, and then there's a lot of them that will make you wish you were dead.
And then some that will make you watch cartoons.
So
I'm sure.
I think we have one one species
I
in
think we do have
Minnesota of psilocybin, and
Yeah, that's it.
the psychedelic mushroom.
yeah,
Yeah.
Is it the one that looks like Mario's mushroom? Or is that another one?
No, you're not going to get that.
There's
tip.
one that looks like Mario's mushroom. though.
yeah, and those are poisonous.
Oh,
like they'll
okay.
make you wish you were dead.
I just saw someone post on Facebook. I think it was Bemidji Chit Chat.
I did see that.
And they posted and they're like, what is this? And someone commented, they're like, looks like Mario's in your backyard. And I just wanted to comment so bad.
No,
Yeah.
psilocybin is actually it's not what everybody associates like the Alice in Wonderland looking mushroom. It's actually a rather bland, really tall stipe on it, and it just has a tiny little cap. It usually grows out of like horse manure and old pastures.
That's gross.
Totally.
So
totally gross.
if someone wants to do the edible type adventures, they should definitely find a person like you, because they could potentially pick something that is not healthy. Or
I knew nothing of this angel of death.
Yeah,
and
I
now
kind of want
really
to go
don't wanna
Google it
in the
now.
woods.
I'll show a picture in the video. I
All right.
got to figure out what this thing looks like.
It's a beautiful white mushroom with a
Of course it
beautiful
is.
veil around it.
Of course, it's white. Where people
sticks out from like a mile away. You're like, oh, look at that.
Kind of like
beautiful
a
mushroom.
kind of
And
like
then
a
you die.
woman.
Get the dog away, and then you die just like that.
It's kind of like a pretty girl.
It's a lot like a pretty girl.
Like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
So,
well, interesting. I did not know that.
What's your favorite? And we'll get into what else you guide. But what's your favorite thing to do for guiding?
I actually enjoy bear guiding.
Well, let's get into bear guiding.
I don't do a lot of clients. Like I don't do a huge volume, because I don't want to burn myself out on that. Like fishing, I still love fishing some days, but
you can get burnt out of a lot of things.
By August, if someone is like, "Oh, I'm on the best walleye bite ever. Let's go for fun," I'm like, "No,
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm just fine."
I know I've tried several years. Come on, Matt. Let's go out and do some fall fishing.
That'd be like somebody calling me up and they're like, "Hey, I got the day off. You want to do a sleep study on me?" Like, yeah, I really want to go to work on my day off.
I'm free.
Yeah.
No.
So bear guiding. How'd you get into starting your whole guide service that led into the edibles, the bear guiding? And you do like birds, right? You do grouse and.
Are you guiding for birds now?
We started doing geese and cranes because cranes were something, it's very specialized. You can only hunt them in northwest Minnesota. There's about 7 counties in northwest Minnesota that you can hunt cranes in, and we're one of like 5 states that you can hunt cranes in. So
we were talking about, I think it was Jason when we were in.
I messaged him and said I got crane in the freezer for him. So.
I've never had it.
I want crane.
I got a tundra swan too. You guys can fight over it.
What's your favorite way to?
Like a couple of Rottweilers just out in your yard chewing on it.
What's your favorite? How to cook crane? What's your favorite?
I like to, it's a nice chunk of meat.
Yeah.
So I like to cut it real thin, and then do like lattice bacon on top of it, and like a pineapple. Throw it on the smoker. I've really gotten into this whole smoking thing. Yeah. Like I bought a pellet grill smoker, a Camp Chef.
I'd like to get into smoking. We actually talked that we should build a smoker out here.
Oh. Yeah. We had talked
about doing like, because you can do rough fish, you can do all kinds of different weird things in there.
Yeah.
You could smoke anything.
Like Michael from Stitzworth, like I'm sure he wants to slap me every day because I'm either in there or texting him almost daily. Like, hey, you got any select cuts or got anything specialty or what should I do this at?
And we talked about crane hunting, and for the people that I kind of want to hit crane hunting because some people they don't experience crane hunting, and I've gone one time crane hunting, and they're how tall? We said 5'6".
They're like they come up to about my belt, just above.
When you hold them stretched out, I just feel like they're way bigger.
Oh, their wingspan?
When you hold them stretched out, they're gigantic, and their wingspan is like. Have you seen my Ben Affleck photo, the Archangel?
Yeah, that's awesome.
The one with the church in the background?
Yeah, and I've got I got ape arms. Like I'm 6'2", and I got like a 6'5" wingspan. Yeah. I'm but
knuckle dragger.
Yeah, but they're bigger than me.
Yeah, they're
wingspan wise. But their height, if you hang them dead, I'd say pretty close to 5, maybe somewhere in that realm. A nice adult.
Quick
really
answer.
Hard to kill though, right?
Yeah.
They're really not that difficult if you can get them close. That's the hard part. Yeah. Like I've been trying to master getting them to decoy. And if
just gonna say decoying or not decoying. Quick answer.
Decoy.
You can get them. You're getting them in good decoying, huh?
Yeah. So I've got a custom crane call, and I found a company that makes crane decoys, and they are insane. Like the best crane decoy that'll ever be made. But they're like 100 bones a piece. So
well, don't you only usually, or you can put 4 to 5 in a
group? I do like a 5 or 6 pack. Yep. And we've been getting them to decoy lately, and it's pretty sick because when they drop that landing gear, you got like 3 feet of landing gear. You know,
just like a goose coming up in beautiful, but 3 times, 4 times bigger.
Right.
Like,
it's so hard to call a shot on them because when they set their wings and drop their landing gear, you're like, oh, they're so close. And then like 4 minutes later, you're like, okay, I'm gonna call the shot. And then like another 2 minutes later, you're like, okay, now they're on top of us. They come in so slow. But yeah, we've been getting them to decoy lately, and if you can get them to decoy, you get them inside of 30 yards, they drop pretty easy.
The only time I've ever got them in good was we were in on a row of sunflowers.
Oh yeah,
and that's how you could. They didn't pick
tight.
You out because if you tried to like, and I'm guessing you're in thicker stuff because I've tried also digging a blind and everything, and it's like they were thousands in this field yesterday, and now they're flying in and they're like, that don't look right.
Yeah,
and they're.
So they got a super keen eyesight.
Yeah, super keen eyesight. They're like the turkey of the sky.
Oh wow.
Best bet being like a row of something.
Yeah,
to
so
hunt them.
if I find 2,000 cranes in a barley field that doesn't have any cover in it, and I have to use layout blinds, I'll skip that field and go hunt 40 cranes in a field that has a rock pile. Because if I can lay in the rock pile and look natural,
I've seen the rock pile stuff before.
Then I can kill them. But if I have to put layout blinds out, I'm like, well, guys, we'll see what happens.
Let's see what happens because they're smart. I mean, they're smart.
That sounds really fun.
Oh, that's something you need to try at least once in your life.
I just like the detail of it. Kind of like you did some trapping there for a little while, and it's all about detail.
Oh, tonight.
Are you
trapping?
Are you still trapping?
I threw 3 coyote sets out today.
Oh, cool. I thought you were going to take a break from that.
I try to take a break from everything. But I got way too many coyotes by my house showing up on trail cam, so I threw 3 sets out today.
And that's a nice segue into, like, I was going to talk to you about predator hunting.
Yeah.
You've gotten into that pretty...
hardcore, yep. Yeah, I was thinking of doing that tonight, but then I got messages from you guys, and you're like, and it's like, do I do a podcast or do I go predator hunting? And I'm like, I'll throw out some traps out.
He's still doing
it.
We
could. How funny would that be if we were sitting wherever you're predator hunting and we just were set up for a podcast, like in the field or on a row of trees?
It would be super successful.
And when we're talking about predator hunting, we're talking about coyotes, fox?
Coyotes and fox mostly, yeah. I mean...
Are we talking like rifle?
Yeah, like ARs.
Right, ARs.
Yeah, mostly ARs. We do a lot of shotgun too. Fox are really susceptible to calling, so you can get a fox into like 30, 35 yards, no problem. But a coyote,
a little smarter.
Yeah, some of them, I've missed them at like 26 yards and gone, man, I wish I would have my shotgun, but you never expect them to get that close.
Do you put decoys, a little rabbit dancer or any of that stuff?
I run like a high-end Fox Pro, and it's got like the woodpecker on top that
the little spinning.
Yeah, it mimics the noise, so they're pretty badass. And watching a coyote or fox come in is like that's become one of my favorite things.
Your adrenaline.
Yeah, I'm really amped on that.
I did it once when I was a kid, and we used a really bright, I think it was a bright pink stuffed animal.
Yeah.
We used a white bed sheet. It was wintertime. And we just had a mouthpiece rabbit squealer.
Yeah.
We set that bright pink thing out there and just started squealing. And sure enough, here come one. And we let him have it. And then we were like 15, 16. We were like, now what do we do with it?
What's next? What do you do with
we sell our fur. So I've got a nice shop at my farm. And by nice shop, I love it. My wife won't go in it, like, because it's dirty.
Smells dirty. It
Right.
won't work.
But to me, I love it.
Typical man cave for outdoorsman,
Yeah, but I've got like my trapping room set up in there, so I've got all my traps hung, and then we've got a designated fur freezer in there, so we just keep stacking fur in this upright freezer, and once it's full, I call a fur buyer, and we sell it off. And
how have prices been?
The year that we really started doing it pretty hard, the boom kind of had happened.
Okay.
The most recent boom, and it was that year, and then the next year prices just plummeted because South Korea started doing muskrat squaring. It's very complex, and I don't even understand all of it. I just go, here's this, and they say, here's how much you get, and I go, oh, great.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, you'll bring in a prime specimen, and the fur buyer, they'll be like, ooh, I'll give you this for that. And you're like, yeah.
Right. I can remember going to fur sales with my dad when I was a kid. But that was a long time ago. Back when, you could get $7-8 a muskrat right off the bat without even really looking at it.
That's how it was the year we started. Rats were like $7.
Wow.
And now they're in that $3-4 range. So
that's a drink somewhere.
I guess. I don't drink. So
I'm still waiting for that chunk of like beaver backstrap.
Oh, beaver opens the 20.
Because I want to make chili out
October.
of it. I've been listening to
I can hook you up, brother.
Oh, I'm sure. I've been listening to a lot of Steve Rinella's podcast, Meat Eater.
Yeah.
That dude is eating everything.
Yep, and he's even gotten trick from a bear. My biggest fear, and he went through it, and he said it was hell. So,
where did he get it from?
Bear.
Oh, bear.
Yeah, it's like over 80% of the bears in North America carry some form of trichinosis. So.
Yep.
I
was cooking up that bear burger for me and my daughter. That was going through my head, and I cooked it extra longer.
So what we do instead of overcooking is my bear meat goes in, I've got freezers everywhere.
Right.
So my bear meat goes in a certain freezer, and we don't touch it for at least 6 months.
Oh, okay.
And that ensures that it all gets killed off and everything is frozen down to the core. And
okay.
So
yeah, this bear meat that I got had been frozen for, a year.
Oh yeah, you were safe then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's an interesting fact. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So if you want to kill anything, it'll freeze. 6 months will freeze it all the way into the inside.
USDA says 30 days, and I don't trust any government agency. So.
Oh, that's right up my alley. But I won't get into that. So for trapping with the predator, what's your favorite thing to trap?
Bobcats are probably my favorite thing to trap. They're the most frustrating. But walking in on a bobcat is probably the coolest. Either that or a fisher.
Huh.
Because you just don't see them.
Yeah.
Like I can go drive around. If I go drive around long enough, I can see a coyote, or I see fox all the time. So walking in on fox, you're like, oh, I got a fox today. It's awesome, but
you see it on the side of the road,
right?
Which you don't usually see.
But you walk in.
Bobcats on the side of the road.
Yeah, you walk in on a bobcat, and you're like, oh, yeah,
pumped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, you guys got a badger.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was right by my house.
Yeah, my dad, he was a trapper from the old day, and he'd never trapped them, but he said, man, the hide on those things, the fur is just gorgeous.
Oh, it's beautiful, yeah.
He said, man, if you're ever gonna get into trapping, get yourself one of those. Those are cool.
Yeah, they're really neat, and they're relatively cheap. Like that was one of the cheapest. So you asked what we do with them. We sell a lot of them, but if I get one and it's like a new critter to me or a really special looking, I'm like, taxidermy.
Right.
So I've got a badger hanging on the wall. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. Wicked.
Badger, Wisconsin.
Yeah. Yeah, and there just aren't badgers around. Like I've
never seen one here.
I had never seen one in Minnesota. And when we bought our farm, the neighbor, he's talking and, he's like, oh, there's coyotes everywhere. And yeah, there are coyotes everywhere. But he's like, I've even got badger. They're tearing up my field. And I'm like, ooh, badger. So,
I'm your man.
So I set some traps around our house and some of the public land and stuff. And we just happened to get one. It was like one of the first snows 2 or 3 years ago. And I got off work, came off a 14-hour shift, and I'm in like dress clothes and
was this thing
a tie.
pissed? Or was it a kill one?
No, so picture me like dress shoes, tie,
I've seen it.
hair did, like
looking good,
looking dapper, And I pull up to where the strap was, and I could see it from this gravel road, and it was all torn up, and there was snow, so it was dirt, like a catch circle, and there was no critter, and I'm like, shit. Like, cut a coyote, he got the trap out somehow, no critter. And I walk up there, and I'm like, man, I don't understand how they got out. But there was like this hole, and it was, I don't know, as big around as maybe a basketball. And a lot of times when critters get caught, they try to dig. Like, that's their escape mechanism. Once they realize they're trapped, they try to dig. So I start to reach down there, and I hear, I'm like, whoa.
Hello.
What did I get?
So I called Nikki, and I'm like, my wife, I'm like, have you left for work yet? And she's like, no. And I'm like, Tate's hockey stick is in the back of your vehicle. Do you mind bringing that to me? I'm just down the road. She brings me a hockey stick, and she's like, what's down there? I'm like, I don't know, but watch this. And I put a hockey stick down. It's like cracking this. It's biting at it, you know. Finally, I got it to bite hard enough, and I pulled it out, and I'm like, oh, it's a badger.
And they are not nice.
No, they are mean.
I
And
used to have one that lived underneath my house.
really,
Yeah. I just remember, I mean, I was 4 or 5, and I remember it was just dug up under there, and we had to obviously get rid of it, but they're not nice.
so you guys would like go to the,
Our dogs would go up, you know, because I wouldn't say they like really dug under, but they did, because they have like, you know, the home underneath it, and the dog would go up to it, and when it would pop its head out, it was gnarly to that dog.
yeah.
And that's
yeah,
just,
they're mean.
They're
pissed
pretty
off.
prevalent over by my parents' house over on the Iron Range.
Yeah,
I've never seen one in the wild, but driving down these dirt roads, you see these sand banks,
Yep.
and you see these big holes in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh boy.
yeah. We see them in South Dakota when we're out there
Yep.
snow goose hunting in the spring, because in the spring they're out and they're really moving around, and we
I've
see
been
them
pheasant
a lot.
hunting, and I've came up on one in the ditch,
Oh.
and yeah, they just don't want anything to do with
So,
you.
so you didn't mimic the YouTube videos where you chase them and throw your jacket over them and catch them and hold them up?
I was 4 or 5.
Oh,
I don't even
yeah.
think the YouTube videos were around then.
Would have been epic if they were.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Dad's still. Yeah, well, he's kind of still trapping. He's dealing with skunks.
Oh, I killed one today.
Yeah, he's got 4, I think 3 or 4 live traps,
Sure.
and it's well, his dock is gone now. He would take it to a dock that was out at a place called Bimbo's. It's right on the edge of the lake. There's a dock out there, and he'd just take them out there.
Sink them.
Yeah, he'd read the newspaper with one foot on the live trap. He learned his lesson. The first one he tried to drown. He literally he stood on the trap for, he figured, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes.
Sure.
He's like, oh, this thing's got to be dead. Nope.
I tried to talk Nikki into killing that skunk today. I'm like, honey, you said you want to inject one, because we inject them with acetone, and then they don't spray you and they die instantly.
Well, how do you get to them?
I have like a 6-foot kill pole, so
So they don't spray when you come up to it, and they're pissed
no,
off.
you gotta talk to them.
Oh, we got the
kinda
skunk
like
whisperer.
They're kind of like a house cat.
I'm serious. If you sneak up on them, they'll spray you. But if you like stay eye to eye with them and talk to them, like I sound like
I wish I had this on film.
I sound like an idiot, because I'm like,
It's
oh,
Steve Irwin.
it's okay, skunk. It's okay, skunk. Right before I kill it, you know.
You're gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Wow.
But
Acetone.
Then what do you do with the skunk when it's gone?
you can sell the fur, $3.
$3?
Boom.
That's money in the bank.
But you're getting rid of skunks, and
Yeah,
skunks
that's
eat
true.
grouse eggs, and they trash yards, and
Yeah.
who likes a skunk?
No one likes a skunk.
Nobody likes a skunk.
All right, so you're giving away one of your North Country Guide service sweatshirts,
The hoodie, yeah,
which you forgot.
I did.
Just a typical guest, but that's all right. We're gonna give it away though, and so which we've started on the last episode is people need to go like your page, hit you up, of course, like, share all of our stuff, but we're doing codes, so they have to listen. So we say a code, and then they message it to us on our Broken Line page. So the code to give away the sweatshirt is North Country 101. So then they can go in, and they can message us, and then one of them will get in a drawing to win. So if you want the North Country Guide Service sweatshirt from this fella right here, message Broken Line, North Country 101.
I like it.
Then we'll give it away to some lucky person who hopefully doesn't have one already.
They're pretty rare.
They're rare out there.
They're not like I Fish with Jason shirts. Like everybody has one of those.
Oh yeah, everyone. That's just
I still have the I fished with Jason Rylander because
I still have the stick figure ones we did.
yeah, I saw it on Trolling Tunes. Did you see that? He was wearing it on the second Trolling Tunes he did.
Yeah.
We talked about Stickman when he was here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember getting pizza boxes from all that good stuff. But
Well, I thought of him because this boom is kind of like tickling my beard, and I smell like rotten Doritos. So I figured Rylander must have been here.
rotten Doritos.
Chips and cheese, I think.
Chips and cheese.
So, and I know hunting season goes for a while. You're not a bow hunter.
Nope.
But are you putting any thought into ice fishing?
A little. Did my ice fishing orders this week.
Oh, okay.
Oddly enough, actually yesterday, I put in most of my orders. So I've got all my Vexilar stuff ready. My clam stuff is on the way. I've got so much carryover stuff that when I order every year, it's like, I don't really need this or that. But
in the spring, Matt always has a pretty good sale.
Oh yeah, yeah. You want gear at a reasonable price.
Gear,
Yeah.
He's your man.
And
when it gets to be this time of season, I mean, yes, we're doing the same exact thing. You're starting to put your orders in. You're getting everything ready.
Yep.
And then the stuff starts coming. Pro days start happening. You guys had your pro day. Eskimos got their pro day coming up. So there's all these things. And then all of a sudden it's show season. And you're out doing all the shows. And then it's like, when does ice hit? Which we don't know. But it's showing signs that it's quicker than not.
And if the ice hits before the big show in St. Paul, you definitely see it.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
If there's no ice, that place is insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because people aren't out fishing.
Yeah, nobody's fishing. Everybody's at the show.
Yeah.
Like everyone in the state, I think.
Yeah.
Because it smells really sweaty.
Yeah. They almost need a bigger venue.
Or bigger ventilation system.
Last year when I was there, I walked around as many times as I wanted to, plus working. And then I realized, like, last day, I was like, crap, I never made it to the next floor.
Yeah.
I never went up. I'm like,
I always felt like if I went there as a consumer or spectator or whatever, I almost felt like a spawning salmon. Like, you get in with the rest of them and, like, you all walk together. And if you want to, like, stop at a booth, you got to, like, bail out of the line. And then when you want to get back in, you got to, like, time it just right.
Yeah.
And then jump back in.
You got to hide behind a rock and wait for the next wave.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
crazy because it's exactly what it's like.
Well, we
just
talked
kinda
about it's
swerve.
kind of the eye cast of ice fishing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, you get to see all the new cool stuff. And speaking of new cool stuff, anything cool and new with clam coming?
Well, Clam has the new float suit, the Ascent. Pretty wicked. All their clothing has been ramped up so much the last few years with the addition of Sean Canote. Mm-hmm. He is a mastermind when it comes to clothing, so that's all ramped up. And then we've got all the anniversary edition shelters. But the thing I'm most excited about is Vexilar expanding their FLX series. So
the 20 and the 12.
Yeah, so I bought my wife the 20, the FLX, and I'm really excited to see that in action because she doesn't go out enough, so it goes with me, and clients use it, and the kids use it, and we've got Vexilars everywhere. But every once in a while she'll call me out. She'll be like, "Where's my Vexilar? It's supposed to be sitting right there charging," and I'm like, "It's in my truck. I needed it.
I've been using it for the last 2 weeks."
right. But yeah, I tinkered around with that a little bit and loving the addition to the lineup. Anytime Vex comes out with something new, it's like, oh yeah, because they don't do it a lot. So
this year I'll be running a Markham for the first time ever.
Yeah,
I'm kind of excited about it.
Yeah, give her a shot.
Absolutely. I'm gonna run the M Series Flash here.
Yeah,
myself. I'm hung up. I'll have to just try it, but the whole LCD screen thing, just psychologically doesn't work for me.
Right.
I'm gonna get the one where you can play games.
The
Netflix,
the RT9,
no.
Netflix, the games, all that. Good
he
stuff.
just sits.
But you can hook up camera apps and stuff to it too. Like,
yeah.
Why not?
For you,
but
yeah.
We were just in another podcast. We talked about it doesn't really matter what company you go with.
No.
If it's brand new, I'm sure it's gonna work. It's like getting a
brand
Dodge truck or a Chevy truck. They're both 2018s. I think you're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
It's the good thing about. We even talked to a couple. That's why we wanted to ask you about some clam stuff because we went over another podcast back We talked about, new gear coming out, and every year there's new gear.
Yeah.
And it's just like so many new tools for people to step out on that ice or step out into that boat. Of course, we're talking ice, but the tools help a lot, especially up here in the Northwoods. So it's cool to just get a little peek into what's upcoming, of course, and then the ice show. There it all is, you get to get your hands on it.
Well, Patrick knows I'm not a huge tech junkie.
Mm-mm.
Like you hop in my boat in the summer, and I can tell clients sometimes are like disappointed because they're like, oh, he's got 2 7-inch LCDs. Like, where's his 27-inch screen? And I'm like,
where's the flat screen in the front, the flat screen in the
and then we murder fish, and they're like, oh, that worked okay. Well, I'm young enough, I can still see, so I don't need a flat panel on the front of my boat. Like, I can walk up there.
I can get up there.
Good point.
But
good.
Ice fishing is a little different. I mean, the technological advances have made a huge difference, and especially when it comes to warmth and stuff like that, like
which is a key. To be out there negative 45 degrees.
The advent of like thermal shelters and how much warmer suits are now, it's just crazy. Like if it's 40 below and I'm walking hole to hole and I'm starting to sweat, I got good stuff on.
Oh yeah. It's you get inside your shelter, and the first thing I always did was remove the jackets off. Jackets off.
It keeps people on the ice longer.
Yeah.
When you have stuff that keeps you warmer, because cold's usually one of the things that kick people off.
Yeah.
And despite the brand, I've never found anything really poor quality when it comes to ice fishing.
Yeah.
Because it's just
Small
not going to hold up. So it doesn't really matter what you're running, what you're
just as long as you got a jacket. I'm happy.
I never had a jacket all last year.
Yeah.
I do too much
some
walking.
Some people do that, man.
I walk all the time.
I'm zipped and stuffed like a snowman.
Me too, but I can't wear gloves.
I don't either. I can't film with big gloves in the way. And a lot of fishermen the same way. You can't just do what you're doing with gloves. You can't take the fish off. So, when you come up filming, all your guys' hands are just beet red. And you're like, hold that fish up. And you're like, I can't. It's going to go.
It's too cold.
And I'll probably talk to you after the podcast real quick, see if you know any physical therapists that could help me out. Because my hands just lock up, and I've been putting them in ice baths and then wait until they can't move while I'm watching TV.
You're crazy.
And trying to get some sort of muscle memory or something going, trying to figure it out. So I'll bug you about that later.
Do you do anything to prep for ice fishing season? I'm talking from guide service to your physical, commercial shoots and all the other stuff that you have to do with your sponsors.
Any gym time or
prep?
10 push-ups.
Yeah, I didn't know what you were going for in prep there. I do enough bird hunting that physically I think I'm ready, and then I lift that first.
Well, like for him with his hands, he's trying to condition them, and I'm just wondering, there's some people that right now they've already got their garage cleaned out, their stuff's organized, their stuff's this, and what is there any specific thing you go through getting prepared for that first snowfall or ice season?
So I'm kind of obsessive compulsive. Like a lot obsessive compulsive. So when I put stuff away in the spring,
it's ready to go.
It's ready to rock. So first ice hits, and I'm not the guy going, shit, where's my propane tanks? And
so you're prepared a year in advance.
Yeah, I'm ready to rock. Like my stuff's there, and then the new stuff, when that shows up, I just set it all in the corner, and then I start picking away at it a little bit every day.
Right.
But yeah, I put my stuff away ready to rock so that because it never fails, it hits and it's like, I'm not ready.
Right.
I hear that all the time. Like I'll call a buddy because come first ice, I'm ready to fish again because I was sick of it. I went through hunting, had a nice long break. First ice hits and I'm like, I'm ready to go. So first ice hits and I call a buddy, you ready to go? I don't even know where my flasher is. I don't think I've even charged it. I'm like, no, that's not how this works.
I'm at the gas station for 20 minutes and I've been waiting for you. You're 30 minutes late. Where are you?
Right.
Oh, I'm just getting up. I
found my left glove.
Yeah. Just found my left
It never fails
boot.
for me first ice. I think I have everything ready. I get out there and I set up. I'm like, oh shit. That's back at home. I really wish I'd have had that, whether it be a jig box or a different rod or something like that. And it takes me a trip or two to fine tune it,
Yeah.
but for the most part, I'm kind of like you. I'm ready to go. Well, I use a lot of my ice tackle all year round
Sure.
anyway, so.
And I don't, because I don't want it to get lost.
Right.
I want it to be right where I left it in the spring.
Now, when first ice hits, any particular favorite thing you like to do? Do you like to head north and hit upper red right away, or
No,
local stuff?
Last time I hit red early ice was we filmed an absolute crush fest
Oh, with
Ice Team, and
yeah.
it was a blast. And everyone would probably think that I'm like, oh, you live 40 miles away, why don't you go up there all the time? But I just don't. I started my fish house rental career on red. Before there were 30,000 fish house rental businesses.
Right.
There were like 9 of us. And that's where I started doing rentals, and the drive back and forth every day. Everybody knows that drive. It's not exactly like super scenic.
No.
There aren't a lot of curves. It's
No,
pretty
and
boring.
It gets sketchy in the winter too.
3 turns?
I've been in a couple of whiteouts up there.
Me too, yeah. A lot of people in the ditch. I've seen some fish houses jacked,
Yeah.
buckled over, but I try to stay local. I mean, this area we live in, Turtle River,
Best place.
yeah,
the
there's
best
no
place in the
shortage
area.
of lakes. So I stay local, and obviously big bluegills, early ice is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you can get out on Bemidji, the walleye fishing the first couple weeks is just outstanding. So like to do that, and then all of a sudden I look at my calendar and I go, okay, it's rental season, and start taking houses out with the side by side, and rental season starts, and then my fishing is gonzo.
With the occasional fun trip, if I can bug you enough.
Yeah.
Whether it's something silly like whitefish or.
Yeah, we gotta do weird stuff. Like
We'll do weird stuff. Hey, remember what happened last winter
I don't remember what happened yesterday.
with the rock bass?
Yeah. It was a
The
murder.
three of us need to go out there and like rewrite that book.
Yeah.
But we could do it in an afternoon.
Yeah. You're welcome for that, by the way.
Oh, I thank you a million times. Every time I look in my freezer, I'm like, but here's the deal, though. It's only 11 3/4. So I'm still sending it down to Jimmy Lawrence.
Yeah.
Just because it's 1 pound, 9 ounces.
Yeah.
But you've sent me pictures of 12s.
Yeah.
12 1/4.
Birch had that 12 1/4, and we're like, oh, let's take a picture of that. I mean, that's what kind of
and then
started
it
it
was-
all.
But you need
Yeah.
to take that fish, and if it's a world record fish, you need to put it into the books, so someone else can.
I didn't know.
We didn't
you know,
know. We
until I
didn't
got-
care.
I know, but now
Until
he gets that 11 something, and he's like, oh, I don't
And
want
that's
to put
why
it.
that's why I didn't like
But get it in
fill
the
out
book.
any paperwork. I was like, one, I was just looking to get started because I just sent my daughter back to her mom's, and I was like, hey man, because Ellen and I sat in one of your rentals, and I caught this one. It was about 10 inches. Like, whoa, this is super fun. I've heard about this spot. Called Matt. He's like, yeah, go ahead. And then I was like, holy shit, these are. Wait a second. I know the Freshwater Hall of Fame keeps ice fishing records.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I looked it up, and then I got a hold of you, and I was like,
But you never
Hey,
put
dude.
it into the book.
I didn't, because it's
He's
not
waiting
my.
for that 12 now to be put in the book.
No, I'm waiting for
Matt needs to put it in the book.
me and Matt and
What?
Tim to go out there with buckets and redo the whole thing. Because if you look at some of these records, especially these odd ones, there's a gentleman, I believe he lives in Wisconsin. I counted. His name is in there 21 times.
Yeah.
He's famous somewhere, right?
I did that when I was in college. I lived, or my folks lived in the Aiken area, so I knew about the Hall of Fame, and I knew about the Master Angler Awards, and back then when you'd get one, Reed's would post your picture in their catalog. Like,
Oh, okay.
so at the top of the Reed's catalog were like all the Master Angler Awards for the year. So I did a few. Like I still got them laying around somewhere. I think I've got like 9 of them or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just kind of fell off, and I just didn't
Right.
really care anymore. And I'm like, why am I doing this? But
Ellen caught a 10-inch bluegill, and I sent that in.
yeah, and that's what I was gonna come to. Is I just saw Eric Osberg from the Outdoor Report. He's getting Willie, his son. He's trying to get Willie to do a bunch of them, and he just got his first one in the mail the other day, and I'm like, that is totally what I'm gonna do. Like,
Yeah,
for kids, like if I take Tate out or
There
Nora
supposed to
out,
be a kids section.
there is.
Oh,
There
okay.
is a junior master angler award.
That's
heck,
cool.
heck with juniors. We're putting
Oh.
the juniors up in the adult division.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
This
there's
is this is
twist.
Bemidji. We don't
Well,
need
I just
to.
yeah,
Represent. Come on.
I sent Ellen's. Ellen's was close to a regular adult master angler, and but hers definitely blew the water out for the junior. I think a junior was only like 9 inches.
Did
Hers
she
was
look
like,
and scoff?
No, she hasn't gotten a certificate
Oh,
yet.
you got to make her look and scoff.
She'll probably draw. She's really into drawing witches and dragons. So she'll probably, when I'm not looking, will draw a witch or a dragon over top of her award.
Let's hope it is a dragon.
Let's hope
She
it's
makes a pretty cool looking witch. I don't know where she gets it from, but it's pretty neat.
If you had to catch one fish for ice fishing for the rest of your life and not catch anything else, what would it
Lake
be?
trout.
Lake trout.
Heard that.
Every day, all day long.
Where's your favorite? Don't tell me location, but favorite area for.
I'll tell you exactly.
Okay.
Whitefish Bay, Lake of the Woods. Give me Whitefish Bay, Lake of the Woods, every day, all day long.
And you'll be happy.
I'll be a happy
I've
man.
never done the lake trout thing, and everybody that I've
We're
talked to
gonna
that
do
have
it.
done it through the ice said nothing else matters.
You know what's funny? I've caught them in the summer, and they are the most boring fish in the world to catch. They come in just like a wet rag.
Okay.
I got a stick.
They do. You you go out coho fishing. And cohos are small,
Mhm.
you know, but they're little darts. So you hook into cohos and you're like, oh, these things are a blast. And then you hook into like a 12-pound laker and you're like, I got a stick. And it's a lake trout. But you catch one through the ice over 60 feet of water and it's just.
Have you ever
That
done
would be cool.
sturgeon through the ice?
I have not. And I just talked about that in the newest Ice Tea magazine that they did like a destination or a dream.
Where you wanna go.
Yeah. And I mean, I grew up up there. I grew up 4 miles from Lake of the Woods. I mean,
You got to go do it.
but it just wasn't a thing back then. And the last 2 years, it's become really popular. And I just don't get time in the winter. Like, I would love to get away. Usually, I save up all my vacation and then I pay somebody, subcontract them to run the rentals for a week, and we go to Florida and go grouper or shark
Gotta
fishing or something.
Do something exotic once in a while.
But I can't just take 2 days off and go up. My wife's family has a cabin up there. I can't just go up there and stay in the cabin and sturgeon fish for 2 days. I wish I could. And it sounds super simple. It's only 2 hours away.
One day you'll be
But-
able to do it.
Yeah, maybe one of these days.
If you could keep one fish for open water, what would it be?
Keep or fish?
Fish
Or
for
let's see.
yeah.
Smallies or bluegills?
I was gonna say smallmouth bass.
Oh, smallmouth are so fun.
They're cool too.
I agree.
I love smallies. But those big bluegills.
Yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah.
BigBluegill.com.
Big bluegill, yeah.
Have you been on there? I haven't been on there in years.
I have not.
I don't even know if it's still going. I know Bruce is on. There's Big Bluegill on Facebook,
On Facebook, yep.
but
Yeah,
that's
no.
how Matt and I met.
Well, from
Pretty cool.
if there's anyone in this area, like it's that same Rylander, you Furch, like you guys always have decently good size bluegills and good fish pictures, right? I mean, from this area, because I don't know, you're good at fishing, I guess. I don't
Well, we've been here a long time. I mean,
know some secrets. Crappies.
luckily this is a podcast, but you'd be able to see the salt and pepper in my beard. But we're
Straight white.
yeah, we're getting old, man. But
Yeah.
but I've lived in Bemidji or been fishing in Bemidji for a long time, and ice fishing used to be one of my favorite things. I still love it to death, but once you make something work, it kind of goes away. Like if I ever started guiding for coyotes, it'd be less fun because I'd watch
Yeah.
somebody else shoot one, and I'm like, I want to shoot that one.
Yeah, that's mine. I want to do it.
And I know what you mean. But I quit rod building 3 times in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Built solid for like 20 some years, and then I did it for a couple more, and I quit. Now it's been a couple years, and I'm like, I should get a rod wrapper again. But if I continue, I get just same thing. I get kind of burned out.
Yep.
Just like I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Yeah, you can burn yourself easy on anything.
And I think that's why I end up chasing weird fish, Like you were talking about, let's get weird. Like I wish I had the time to figure out how to catch those sheep's head through the ice.
I've seen one time.
Right, we've kind of talked about it on the phone and stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about the black duck ones.
Right.
I couldn't imagine trying to pull one of those things up.
Yeah, you'd never get it. I mean, you'd have to drill multiple
You'd have to
holes.
drill 2 holes because
yeah.
they're that.
But I have zero clue to even where to look.
I wonder if
Anything.
they push deep or
Because
in the summertime, they
I've
surely
talked
not.
to old timers up there. They don't even see them spearing.
Yeah.
So-
Deep water, it would be my guess. They're just
That's where I would
laying out
start.
that deep stuff. I don't know.
Some sort of deep basin somewhere.
There's
But-
a lot of weird fish like that, like dogfish. You don't see those in the winter a lot.
Well, down south, southern Minnesota, they come up through the holes. I've heard.
Well, I was just gonna say I was out here,
We've got dogfish out here.
and I've got a spot that I like sight fish and bluegills out here.
How
And
come I don't know about this spot?
I don't tell you nothing about it.
Yeah, he comes in and guides all of our clients, but he doesn't show any spots.
Well, that's because it started happening where I guide clients
Hey,
like
I used to fish with you quite a bit.
yeah.
Remember those big perch we did? We've done crappies.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but Aaron, when it comes to bluegills, you'd have better luck getting in the catacombs at the Vatican than to get information. Seriously.
I got a tracker on them now.
So this is what happened though. So I was out here and I had clients for 2 days, and we brought in just a mess.
You're talking ice fishing?
Open water.
Oh, okay.
So we brought in just a mess to the resort, and your dad was like badgering my clients, like, "Where did you guys catch them? Where did you guys catch them?" And I get the clients in the boat the next
That's
day.
the typical thing the resort owner
Right,
wants to know.
right.
Where'd you get them?
But if they would have told your dad, then they don't need me anymore, because the next year they'll come back and he'll tell them where to go. So
Exactly.
so I have to play this little teeter-totter game with all the resorts. Like, okay, if they ask you where you caught him over by the island over there,
Yeah.
when really you caught him like on the other side of the lake. But
Yeah, I'll get my drone up next time I see your boat.
yeah,
I saw your boat this past year, and it ended up being Rylander. I was like, I think I did text you. I'm like, where are you going? You're like, I'm working. I'm like, Rylander was out.
yeah.
He was out around the islands.
But you had a dogfish story going there?
Oh yeah. So
Because I'm super interested in dogfish. I want to hear this.
Yeah,
So
tell me the story.
I have my favorite little sight fishing spot for bluegills, and I think Furch was with me. And when you're sight fishing, especially back in the day, you don't even put your flasher down. You just head in the hole.
Yep.
Jig, and
So many sword
you can
knives.
only see a little ways, and back then you didn't angle the bottom of your holes like you would now, and shelters weren't dark and meant for sight fishing, so you had to really get down there and into it. And all of a sudden, we had this school of dogfish come through, and they're like swimming up the hole, like this far from your face, and it's like, ah!
Yeah.
They're creepy buggers.
Yeah, I've heard of guys down in like around the cities and stuff. Same thing. Sight fish and bluegills all of a sudden, whoop, right up the hole.
Yeah, and it's funny because they just turn around and back down like nothing ever happened.
Super neat fish.
Yeah, they are.
Fall fishing. It's still fall. I'm going to ask you this question, and I kind of know the answer is, what's your, plan for fall fishing? What do you do? Does any of it help for ice fishing? But at the same time, I think scratch all that. I'm goose hunting and duck hunting and crane hunting.
Well, I still get out. I mean, I haven't been out now for quite some time, but typically come mid-October, like once we see turnover, I know where the crappies are. I know where the walleyes are going to be. I know that they're crushing, and you're going to get big fish. So, that lures you in pretty quick.
Is any of that transition into your ice fishing
For
to
sure.
help you for your ice fishing season?
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking late enough in the season where water temps are cold enough where I can fish that spot early ice.
You could wake up and there could be ice. Yeah.
So, and this year I'm going to do some muskie fishing. I got bit by the muskie bug hard last year. So on my days off, a lot of times I was able to be enticed into fishing if it was for muskies. So,
Are you just like Bemidji?
kind of all over. Bemidji, Cass, Little Wolf, Pike Bay, elk, Little Mad Trap.
Anyone who's
Send
been
me anywhere.
listening for the last, 50 minutes or so, they're thinking, dude, this guy does everything. You can't even stay like on track. We're just like bear hunting, goose hunting, crane hunting, a little bit of everything. You also do goose Fest
Yeah,
up north. You do that every year.
that's
as
a
well.
blast. That's
You
one of
get-
my favorite weekends.
You
Yeah.
get involved in goose hunting and stuff, so that's another cool thing on the big list of everything that you.
Was it last year you did? Were you working the weigh station at the Eel Pelt Festival?
Yeah, I think 4 or 5 years in a row now.
Yeah.
Brought Jason with 2 years ago, and he helped again last
Yeah.
year.
Was last year the first year of the release?
No,
Or has that been going on for a couple of years now?
I kind of started that.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd bring my side-by-side, and I'd throw a couple of Yetis in the back. And, if a fish came in healthy, I'd just throw it in, and then I'd just go dump it. Upon further thought, I really didn't think it through. Like, because Eel Pout Fest, those fish, most of them aren't coming from leech.
Right.
And in retrospect, I'm like, why am I feeding leech full of all these pout? You know what I mean?
Right.
Not that leech doesn't deserve them, but you're throwing fish in there that are coming from Bemidji and Cass and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and it's kind of
Yeah, because when we had Tim on here, we were talking about pout, of course, and I'd like to see someday a limit on those myself.
you'll see it this year. Oh, you mean statewide?
Yeah.
Statewide.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, no, you'll see a change during Pout Fest this year.
okay.
Actually, I
Because
have.
they got rid of the team tonnage thing a couple of years ago, didn't they?
Well, there's still a team tonnage award, but you're limited to how many fish each individual can have.
Okay.
So you can still be on a team and you can still win the team tonnage, but you can only have a certain amount of fish. But I may or may not have a very, very, very large eel pout secret. And
Can we drop it?
you may see a lot of things different about Eel Pout Fest this year.
Well, good.
Can you drop it? Because as you know, I go to Eel Pout every year.
Yeah,
as well.
but you
That
run
was
the
one
beer
of the
pong
things.
tournament, dude.
I can't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I run the beer pong tournament at Eel Pout Fest. If you,
How
if
about
you want to be in that, go to eelpoutbeerpong.com and sign up.
how about when I get the go ahead to drop it, and you guys are in the middle of a podcast, you can call me and I'll
How
tell
about
you.
you
and
just
can,
tell us in 30 minutes when we're done?
that I'll do. But you guys got to hold on to it.
Oh, I don't
Right,
need to. Oh,
right.
yeah, I don't need to say it.
And, there's a strong possibility that we could be down there doing a podcast.
Yeah, we might come down to Eel Pout Fest and do one.
Might not have to drive very far.
Wow.
Do I?
There.
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 Stop.
But
That's
I,
it.
I know all the people at the Chasing the Lake and the owners and all that. Okay, we'll talk about it later. All
Wow.
right, so crack in the
was-
back.
That was greasy.
Winter.
I liked it.
That's like Winterfest. Just sneak false information into it.
Speaking of trailers, did you watch?
Oh yeah, I watched.
What do you think? I guess I just mentioned it and my
What?
goosebumps, man.
So I don't want to get fired, but I was at work.
What are we talking about?
I was hooking up a patient.
You're a guide, so whatever. You'll figure out how to pay your mortgage.
Right. I was at work, and
Oh, are you talking about the
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Last Jedi, man.
during the football game?
Yeah.
The second
Yeah,
trailer.
that's what I kind of
Sorry.
really just the only thing I could
There are a
possibly
lot of
think
Star Wars fans here.
Yeah, we do
in
have some
this
Star Wars
community.
fans.
So yeah, I'm hooking up a patient, and my patient has to like look straight ahead, but the TV's on, and we have flat screens in all our sleep rooms, and it's on the wall to their right.
I can see where this
And
is
I'm
going.
I'm watching, and the patient's like, "Can you stop? I have to watch this trailer." And I'm like, "Oh, thank God!" So we
Seriously?
we
Awesome.
took like a 2-minute break and watched the trailer, and then got back to hooking
Chewie's
the patient
back,
up.
isn't he?
So- Oh, yeah,
Chewie never
Wasn't that
left.
one?
There's
No,
some
there
Chewie
was.
action.
No.
Yeah, but it's always one of those questions: is he going to be in the next one? I thought that was always one of them people in Star Wars. They're always like,
There was
Are
a
they gonna
question
take him
of
out, or is he gonna be-
Chewbacca's role because Han is no longer.
Right.
yeah, and that's why they
Yeah.
were wondering
Yeah,
if he's
no.
going to still be in it.
Oh, he can't go anywhere.
No, you can't get that little furry guy. Out.
But yeah, it was awesome. I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
I
we
was,
gotta have
I
a
was watching the football game. That's when it aired during
Yeah.
the football game, and I was sitting there with Steven. We're sitting there, and all of a sudden, I just like hear a glimpse of it, and I'm like,
Boom.
all I can think of is those Star Wars nerds just going crazy.
Oh, dude, I went nuts.
In a crazy positive nerd way.
And the regular trailer that was shown on Monday Night Football wasn't good enough for me. I immediately went
dig.
Yeah, and I found like a 5 or 6 minute extended trailer.
I like it.
It was it was good, but I shouldn't have watched it because now I won't watch any more trailers.
Sure.
Until that baby drops this December.
Yeah.
And I'll just stop what I'm doing because I went to the.
Well,
I went to the
they
first.
put a lot out.
The first, Star Wars, the first one in the new series, Force Awakens. I went to that down in the cities at the Rosedale Mall, and like, part of the 501st was there. No, like there were stormtroopers there. Part of the 501st and Darth Vader, and I was like, I was all like 8 years old again, like grown ass man with a beard, like, hi, can I take a picture with you?
Yeah, can I get a picture with you?
Yeah, it was super awesome.
Yeah,
it's a big part of my life, man.
Well, you know my ice fishing. Every year I have to drop a mask photo.
Right.
Like every year I have to wear. We have a huge collection of Star Wars masks, and every year I have to take one fishing and do some funny little thing. Like I'll be jigging and I'm a stormtrooper, or I'll be drilling a hole and I'm Darth Vader.
Yep.
Yeah. So I gotta think something new this year.
And he has action figures holding mushrooms.
Oh yeah.
You should get the little the bot, but get the remote of him.
Oh, BB-8?
Having him rolling through your photo.
That'd be sick.
Would be kind of cool in the snow, just rolling through.
Sphero
I
BB-8.
wonder how he'd work in the snow.
You can make a little trail for him, a little cove ball trail, and he'll roll through.
Well, I know that there is an Imperial Walker at that.
We talked about that.
Yeah, I think it's still there.
Is it really?
For those that don't know, I don't know why you wouldn't, but an Imperial Walker is also known as an AT-AT. But there's one down at that thrift store.
Can't believe you're dropping this.
Downtown. And I still need to go and get that.
Now you're going to have to go get it fast.
Because we were talking about doing some really cool photos.
Right.
Gonna have people calling in.
Yeah. People are listening right now going, can you hold that? I'll be there in 10 minutes.
I've had dreams where I've owned an actual Imperial Walker and like I don't even care how thick the ice is. I'm just gonna walk right down Lake Bemidji.
like that moose a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right. Just walk up and down it.
He was more like an ATST.
Yeah, it was
a little smaller.
Chicken walker.
Yeah, chicken walker.
So we've covered the Star Wars.
That guy.
Sorry.
Clear it.
Whole nother podcast.
Just Star Wars in general?
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. Star Trek sucks. I'm just going to say it right there on the internet.
Agreed.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'll agree too.
We just became best friends. We're going to do karate in the podcast studio now.
Karate.
I need more of a life than movies.
Do you have any more topics over there, or did you bust through a bunch of them?
We busted through a bunch of them. I learned about, what is it again? Angel of Death?
That says low battery. That's me. I run on a low battery.
Well.
A low battery. All right, if you could pick one hunting thing, what would it? Grouse, ducks, goose, what would it? Crane, what would the...
Grouse. I think grouse hunting.
I figured you'd pick grouse.
I love watching a bird dog work. It's something really cool about.
Have you been seen a lot of grouse?
It's been getting better.
As that foliage drops, right?
Yeah, and some of the we got that hard frost, and some of the foods in the interior forest, started to die off. So now they're coming more to the edges, and to hit things like clover and some of the younger regrowth and stuff. So you're starting to see them closer to the edge, and you don't have to do as much bushwhacking. Easier to see, easier to walk.
Nice.
But yeah, they're starting to show up a little bit. I'm guiding for grouse in the morning. So
a little bit on that bear guiding, because your wife got one.
Yeah.
This year, right? Birch got one.
Yep.
So was that her first bear ever, or
that was?
What was kind of going through? Because I'm guessing you were there for the hunt.
I sat with her and tried to film it. Yeah.
How did it go? Did you get any footage?
Yeah, it's up on YouTube.
I'm gonna have to.
And I said tried because I've seen you do film, and you've seen me do film, so this is a whole different thing here.
I'm gonna try and sneak some into this, but so tell me, how that experience was of being the guide / husband / filmer / not pulling the trigger /
Oh, it was
just being there with her.
it was one of the coolest experiences ever because like bear hunting is something I've been so passionate about. Like when I was a little kid, my dad, he would guide for bear, and it's been in our family for like 30 some years, you know. So for her to experience something like that and have me along was really cool. But
So it wouldn't have been the same if she just did it on her own. I mean,
no,
it's next level having you right there.
Yeah, like she deer hunts on her own. She doesn't let me help. And she has shot bigger bucks than I do. It's ridiculous.
She's on the pro level.
She considers herself a master big game hunter.
Oh.
She can't hit a woodcock to save her life, but she can heart shot every big game animal out there. Every shot, heart shattered.
That's crazy.
So she's good with the rifle, but
was she nervous, shaking? I mean, I know if I was shooting a bear for the first time, I would be pushing you out of the deer stand in nervousness.
So the first night she actually passed on. Well, we saw 3 or 4 different bears, and she passed on them. And I'm like, we got done, and I'm like, I couldn't have done that. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I shoot the first bear that comes in. It's a bear. Like, I have a tag in my pocket. There's a bear right there. I'm going to shoot it. She's like, no, I want a bigger one. And props to her. I mean, she's more patient than I am.
Do you go for meat? Do you go for size?
I go for meat or color. I really like character bears like that have a white V or a circle or brown. Cinnamon color phase.
Like cinnamon.
Yeah, I've got a really cool cinnamon on my wall that has a blonde stripe down its back.
That's cool.
But she wanted a bigger one, so she waited. And then the second day, I finally saw the spark of excitement because we had 2 bears in the bait and they were fighting. And I've got footage of it.
Oh, yeah. That's the footage I watched. That was cool.
And
I haven't seen the footage.
fighting. It was so cool. And then I started feeling.
Oh, actually,
the
I did watch the video. It
wasn't very memorable.
one scared the other one off.
Yep.
And then, at that moment, I literally said when I watched it, you fucked up, dude. Like, you should have been the one running, And then, yeah, she got it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna maybe if you could send me a picture or something too, I can throw it up there. What do you feed a bear? Gummy bears? I mean, everyone always says trash, garbage, gummy bears.
No,
not trash.
Bears eat better during baiting season than I do. Like they're eating like granola and trail mix and high protein, high fat,
survival
moderate
tip.
sugar.
If it's bear season, just find a stand and you can survive for a month.
Well, I have an uncle. We've all got that uncle.
Right.
My favorite uncle, Donnie. When he's getting buckets ready, he's like, one for you, one for me.
Yeah.
Like, there'll be 3-year-old vanilla
There's always
wafers
that
that don't have any mold on them. And he's like, looks good. He'll eat it. It's awesome. He's a savage.
Yeah.
I just always thought you just put like syrup and gummy bears and like
syrup and gummy bears work. Ho-hos work. But I try to keep it more
healthy.
Well, not so much healthy, but
you get that one bear walks in and goes, grains and oats. Forget that. Give me the gummy bears.
So,
hey Larry, come get the gummy bears. You're healthy.
I know a better spot.
Like 80 grain bread or something.
Man, I found you the perfect spot. You're gonna bulk up in 3 days. No, but like they get the shits. Like if you feed them gummy bears every day, they get the shits and then they leave. So I don't want them to get the shits and leave. I want them to have healthy poops and stay. So that's why I stay away from heavy sugars.
That's why we all should stay away
picture
from
this bear rolling in with this big thick mustache because he's got the beatus. He's got the diabetes. Well, I said
his name's probably Larry.
Yeah, said, the way some people like that don't know about bear hunting, they say, they put a big pile of candy out there, and I said, you'd think that a bear tastes like a Butterfinger at the end of the season, but I love the meat. I think it's super good.
Yeah, it's great. Super lean.
Yeah, I actually really like bear. I like, we talked about it. Someone had a sausage stick infused with pepper jack cheese, and it was just wet, and it was good. It was
moist. Would you say it was moist?
Moist would be the proper.
We got to write those words because Rylander got hooked on quasi.
Yeah, I love that word.
So your word is
Moist.
There's going to be a lot of upset people.
See if you can say moist 4 times before we're done here.
No, you can burn that one out. That's a once per show word.
Once per show.
Because we just lost like eight viewers, 8
people
listeners.
are like,
We're done.
He just said moist. I shut it off.
Delete. Unsubscribe.
Delete, unsubscribe. Oh, my Lanta. Don't
Yeah.
even say you're done. Or were you going to?
No.
No. I'm trying to think of what... for when I first got into the hunting industry, fishing industry, you were the first person that called me. And you were like, hey, got us 2 spots, for this shoot. And it was a clam vexlar shoot at the Chase in Walker. And you're like... I remember where I was sitting. I was actually sitting in the office up at the ski hill, up at BV. And I was sitting, I know exactly where I was sitting when I got the text. And I was like, heck yeah, of course. Why not, So I text Jake, and next thing you know, it ice shots. And I don't even remember what year it was. But that was like the beginning to my entrance. And then on top of that, we've done perch fishing. We've done shows, commercial shoots, photo shoots, and the sports shows. I mean, there's been so much out there that it's just so cool that with the small community we have, that it's just like you never know when you're gonna, like you said, I feel like I haven't seen you in 10 years. Like, yeah, feels like it's been quite a bit, but it's like you get back in the same room and here we are talking and bringing memories and crane hunting and all stuff that goose. We actually went goose hunting one time.
We did.
Remember that? That was twice, maybe. Actually, it was 2 different.
I remember once.
1 or 2 different fields. I remember.
There was a lot of brushing for, I believe, one crow.
It was way too nice of a night.
Oh, it was like 85 degrees. It sucked.
And you just had to kill something.
Yeah. No, but
I
it's cool. Like, I mean, sitting here right now, like I was running guide trips out of Coles like before you even lived here. I mean, and helping out with the junior BASS tournaments when they were here, and I lived on Big Turtle for many years.
I did not know that.
Yeah, in a little cabin. That's how I know the lake so well. I was out here every day.
What else did you
I like lived on ramen and crappies and walleyes. Like all we did was fish. Back when my wife loved hanging out with me.
Yeah, it's just a small world on how, in 8 years, 9 years, I don't even know how many years we've
like 9, I think,
jumped in and out of different projects or gone doing this or gone doing that, and you're friends with everyone as well, and it's just like it's a tight little
Matt,
community up
when
in
I
these
wanted
woods.
to get into this fishing industry thing a little bit deeper, how do I do this? You need a resume. How do I, what do you do for that? And I typed one up, and he's the master of the English language and grammar. And I sent it to him, and he gave me some feedback, and he helped me get my start in this too. And
people helping people.
It only takes one.
Can't ever
People
thank the guy
helping people.
enough.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Do you?
Can I throw another cliche in, or are we good?
No, throw it.
No, we're good.
Throw it.
I was ready for it.
No, I'm still waiting.
We'll throw it at an innocuous time.
I'm still
All
waiting. Okay. You do writing still?
I do writing.
Do writing. Nice throw in.
Yes, I.
All I can think of is that bear now just pollinating the woods as it walks out.
Yeah, no, I do a fair amount of writing.
So how did you get into writing, and what kind of writing do you do? And
well, the English language is something I'm fairly passionate about.
Oh yeah, he'll get you.
Social media really got me into writing because I've always written for rags here or there since I started guiding, and once social media came along, I started reading some of the rubbish that was being thrown around on social media, and I watched paychecks from writing go down and down and down and down because everybody was willing to write for free just to see their name in a paper. Well, it kind of ruined it for guys who wanted to write. Like, I wanted to write.
it's crazy because it almost seems like a lot of people in your shoes or in your shoes, they Bob, Bob Shoes, they all want to dabble in writing in some way. Is that just, it seems like a puzzle to the outdoor industries. A lot of people like to express video, express magazine, express writing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a cool connector between all of us, is some way in that direction.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's like a bad weather thing, bad weather day.
Yeah.
But I still want to talk about fishing, but I don't want to go anywhere, so I'm just gonna.
We all want to
writing.
provide content to someone to help someone out.
Well,
right?
a lot of companies require it. Like, I need X amount of articles per season for you to be on my team.
And isn't that one of the ways you started out getting, at least from what I remember, was you did your writing and your guide service, and those two combined really got that door open to the sponsors and
Yeah,
the
it definitely
companies you work
helped. I
for.
mean, it's better than just being a fishing guide, because if I'm running 112 guide trips a year and I shake 400 hands on the boat, I can do that in 5 minutes on the internet. But yeah, so I mean, back to where I was going, I guess I started reading all these things, and I'm like, it really needs to get better. So then I decided I wanted to start writing more, and the paychecks didn't increase any, but I think getting good content out there, good quality information, was important, because it seemed like for a while there, and I'm sure you saw it, you do a lot of reading. There was a period there where all the content was just like, it's like people just threw it out there without any scientific or thoughtful.
Well, it goes back to like what, podcast 1 or 2, when people just spread stuff that there's no cited information. The Will Ferrell came to town, everyone shared it, type of thing. People would sit down in their social media, here's Facebook, and they're like, okay, I'm just gonna write some crap down and hope people believe it, and it's good to go, because there's no solid proof,
right?
And that's I guess kind of the sucky job.
I'd rather read stuff in a magazine. And I'm just old. I'm old school like that.
Me too.
I'd rather pick up a magazine and read something that somebody wrote, instead of like you said, I could just spill this out in 5 minutes on
Anyone
social
can
media.
internet fish.
Yeah. If you're going to get published, that means you've done your research, you've thought about it, you've proofread it.
Well, and we grew up with that,
right?
So like the first time I saw my name in Fish, or a photo of myself in Fish, or one of my articles in Fish, it was like, check, life complete. I could die now,
Yeah, I remember I got a shout out in the Panfish Guide, and I remember exactly where I was.
Yeah,
I was at. I walked up to the bookstore because Tony Claire's was bartending at the Keg. I walked up there, grabbed that, opened it up there, and I'm just thumbing through, and I went, "Holy shit!" He's like, "What?" I'm like, "Turn around." He's like, "Your name is in there."
Yeah,
your name is in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, look at that." I still have it.
Everyone, it's crazy how a single moment in time like that can place in your mind.
Oh yeah.
And everyone's dream in the outdoor industry is to make a mark in some way. Whether it's, oh my God, I'm on TV, or oh my God, I'm in that magazine. It's just.
And you know what's funny? I don't think any of us really know what that benchmark is, because like, I remember when I was writing, I'm like, I want to be in Fish, and now when I write something for Fish, it's great, but I still am looking for something.
It's just like when I found out my first, like 7 years ago, when I was getting into my first national magazine, I was just like, oh my God, I need to get like 17 copies first.
Right.
And I need to frame them, and I need to sign them and like put them away. And now I literally have a storage container down in my room that is filled with copies and newsletters and magazines and photos and this, and they're all sitting there and they're just collecting dust. My first objective was to make like that Hall of Fame type room and be like, there, that's a front cover of a magazine. That's my thing. Now it's just like, okay, yeah. They just sit in a box. That was my first. And then it was, oh my God, all right, I'm getting into video stuff. I'm on my first network TV. I need to get in a network commercial. Did that, and now it's like, okay. And then I need to edit one. Then, oh my God, now I need to go to the outdoor channel. So I've done that. I've done 7, all the national outdoor networks.
Yeah.
I've been on the outdoor channel, and it's just like, there's me in the background on the outdoor channel, because I'm always behind the camera, so I'm never like
Right.
an actual person, but I'm like in the background, or another camera caught a glimpse of me, and I'm just like, psh, Facebook, take a picture of it, screenshot it, save it, put it into my resume type of thing. And now it's just like, that doesn't really.
Yeah,
And
but you keep going for the next thing, and
It's like
that's what
what-
keeps everybody going.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like with the records. That's where I'm. That's the exact reason why I want to see my name in that book.
Yeah. I want to see
just-
your name in that book.
Whether I don't care what it entails.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be great to get a new state record largemouth or walleye, but maybe someday. I'm not saying they're not there, but that's what keeps me going. On the water and or on the ice is like, now I want to chase these records.
Sure.
I still want to get published. I like being on TV and stuff, but man, my ultimate goal, I'll just say it, is I'd love to be someday. I think I'm probably a little too old. I'd have to do a lot of incredible things, but I'd like to be in the Minnesota Fishing Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That's nothing. I mean,
Nobody-
It's a dream that pushes people farther to accomplish more things.
will it happen? I don't know.
I have that dream as well, and I actually thought about this not that long ago. I think for guys like us, it's going to be so hard because, we're dealing with a whole different ballgame. Like
Because of social media.
social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
For sure.
there are guys on social media that, they may look like a Hall of Fame angler, and I've never met them. I don't know what they do,
Right.
So how do you have any validity anymore? Like, you got to make a mark somehow, and
Right.
and
I look up to guys like, well, of course, the Linders,
yeah,
but I think my all-time favorite dude in the whole world is Larry Dahlberg.
sure,
They're just an incredible angler. He's been all over the world. He quit with the world records and the line class records, and I still try to catch his show, that Hunt for Big Fish, because he's one day he's fishing smallmouth, the next day or the next week he's down in Argentina catching some weird fish. Like,
some piranha.
man, I want to be that. And like you said, man, he had to really grind it out, because back then there was no social media. I have In Fisherman's where he used to work for In Fisherman, Larry Dahlberg, long time ago.
Yeah.
And that was just a magazine. There was no internet, social media. And
It's crazy
cool.
because you meet people that you look up to in the fishing industry, but what you don't know is there's 25, 30, 40, 150 people behind you looking up at you. When someone walks by you at that clam booth and they see you're a pro and you're talking about this product or this product, some kids walk by you and they're like, holy crap, that is a famous guy.
yeah,
And then you look up to someone else, like you're like, okay, Dave Gens or someone higher, and you're like,
It's like a food
oh,
chain
that's so
thing.
cool. It's like, yeah, but you don't know that you slowly, as you achieve your goals, you're slowly going up, and people are slowly pushing behind you, and they're accomplishing things,
yeah,
and you just keep going up. But it almost feels like you're not moving.
right.
In my mind,
It does.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're like, oh, I accomplished this, which raised us up to here, or raised me up to here, but I still feel the same, even though there's 100,000 fishing industry isn't that big. Let's go small. Let's go 20,000 people behind you, just slowly becoming the new you.
Sure.
That were, there's kids that are 25 now that are doing just what you were doing when you were 25. And
oh
that's
yeah, and
crazy to think that's how the industry is.
I went through a weird transitional period where I was like, man, these kids don't know what they're talking about. And then all of a sudden it was like, they really do know what they're talking about. And it's almost like a passing of the torch. Like, you're putting out solid stuff, take it from here. Do you know what I mean?
Go young Padawan.
Yeah. you do it, and I'll just keep doing what I'm
And,
doing.
that's what's cool about the fishing industry. You see the young, like you were just saying, well, you know what? Come here. I'll give you a couple extra pointers. I want to see you go.
Yep.
Go, man. Just blow right past me if you want. Go ahead.
I love looking at people that that were once a part of my team or that I helped in some way, and seeing the things they're doing now. It's really cool and incredible. Like,
Well, everything that I've done, which is a big list, starting from just some camera or kid that wanted to do cameras
Yeah.
to you saying, yeah, here's a free food, hotel, it's all included. Go have fun for 3 days type of thing. You follow us, you take photos. Now I'm co-owner of my own fishing show.
Knuckles.
Or running a podcast with you 9 years later,
Yeah.
and you're sitting here and you're talking to us about cool stuff in the industry. It's kind
Proofreading
of
a fishing resume that I'd never written before.
Knuckles.
Bingo.
But it's crazy because some of the people out there that are listening or watching, they're either going to know you or they're not going to know you. And they're going to be like, who's this guest, you know?
Right.
Well, now with everything that we've talked about for the last hour and some minutes, they can get a new grasp of you, and they can now hopefully take some of this stuff and they can go out and experience the real world in different ways that they didn't before.
One piece of advice I'd give: approach. If you have questions, just approach these guys.
Oh yeah.
99.9% of them will be like, "Yeah, let's talk about it."
We
You recognize the passion. You're
we
like,
we
yeah.
love talking.
Yeah.
Fishing, like hunting, whatever. I mean,
That's why we're in the industry, is because we love it so much. That's why when you go to a sports show, someone shouldn't be afraid to come up and talk to you, because you're only there to talk and
Right.
to encourage them. And that's the good thing. We've talked about it before, is in the fishing industry, hunting industry, maybe, you know, we're all there to help guide. No one's better than anyone else. We're all there. No company's better than another company. We're just all there to help other people who aren't in the industry get into the industry more or feel it. And that's why with me, I started kids and females were my big thing. And that's what I love to get out there, because I don't know, the fishing community and the fishing people in it are awesome and amazing. And it takes people like you and people like Jason, you know, Rylander, or people like Tim Furch, or, you know, Mike, any of those other people that we've had on the show, Bob. And that's just the beginning of what we've had on the show. All those people are here to learn and help and spread the outdoors. And I think that's awesome.
yeah.
Because people look up to you whether you know it or not. And that's the weird / cool thing about being in the industry in a sense. Like, you're a pro. You turn your hat and you got pro team written on your hat. Like, some people they'll know it, and some they don't care. But it's, you know, it's the love of the industry.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't look at myself as a pro. I just look at myself as
that's the thing.
someone who's trying.
Yeah.
My job as a pro is to try to recruit people. Like, hunting and fishing in Minnesota, the numbers have been declining. Like, there aren't as many people hunting and fishing anymore. So the more people I can get into it and keep into the sport, you know, and the better odds they have of bringing somebody else in, or their children one day, or whatever. And you know, that's the most important thing I think people need to realize in hunting and fishing, is that it's not about you, it's not about me.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the future generation.
Well, if you have that high of a head that it's about you, any of the top pros, you know, if they have that kind of head, then they're not going to survive in the industry.
No, it's
You
too
know,
small.
That's like what I've, and the sponsors are going to find real quick that you don't deserve to be in this if that's how you're. But that's the same thing. I mean, when you go and take anyone that has that big head, and like I've said in other podcasts, there is no pro that has never stepped out on the ice or stepped out on the boat that has said, I'm not going to learn something today, or I'm not going to teach something today. It doesn't exist, because we learn every day. We learn more stuff about eel pout. You learn more stuff about trapping. You learn that a badger can't get caught in a trap. Like, that stuff you learn every day. And maybe a hockey stick was the perfect tool to, you know, you don't know that until you experience it.
I learned stuff driving down the road. I mean, I'm constantly looking at nature, and I'm looking at lakes, and I'll drive past a little pond and think to myself, I wonder if there's fish in there.
I do it all the time.
And you drive by it enough times, and all of a sudden you see that ripple. You ever have that happen?
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, there are fish in there.
Bingo.
You drive by and there's no
worst-
access to it, and you're like, there could be a world-class fish.
How
sitting
do
in
I
there.
get there?
The worst for me was, like, in the wintertime driving around, like, oh, look at that, it's frozen. Oh, I wonder if you go by there in the summer and it's nothing but lily pads all the way across the thing. Like, oh man,
Yeah.
check that one off the list. You know?
Don't want anything to do with it.
But yeah, I mean, staring at maps all night long,
Oh, yeah.
going, geez, I wonder if I should call Matt. just in case. I'm sure he's been out here, and I'd hate to bump into him and be like, what do you know about this? I just found it on a map. And
Yeah,
it's
you've
usually
showed me
just
a
a
couple
chuckle.
of mushroom spots, and I've been afraid to go back ever since during mushroom season because I'm gonna step out there and then
They're old now, so
they're gonna,
they don't produce anymore.
Perfect. I'll just head out there.
I remember where we went and filmed, and you took some home for your dad because if I
My dad
recall
loves
correctly,
them.
yeah, your dad loves them. That spot we filmed, that's dead. There's no more.
Huh.
The woods are too old, and that happens with mushrooms.
Did you kill them so you could move on so none of your clients
No,
knew where you were at?
the trees got to a certain age where they no longer put out mushrooms. So
Well, that was 8+ years ago, or
that was fun.
6 years.
We murdered them.
Yeah, we did
How do
some
you
really.
murder mushrooms?
You got to convert all. You
you
got to
do this.
convert all this
It's
stuff.
a one
man.
finger cut. One finger cut.
You got to convert.
We actually filmed that
We
back
did.
in the day when.
And you put some
we
like
weren't
techno theme behind it.
I'm on EDM.
Oh my god, I gotta see this.
It's
Yeah.
good.
There's actually quite a bit of Morning Storm stuff that I did back in the day that are just probably terrible at this point.
Oh, isn't that
There's
terrible?
There's some crane ones. I still remember looking into the sky when I was crane hunting and seeing had to have been 100,000 black cranes flying. It just felt like that many.
Was this
It was
back with
just
like Keller?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
with Maddie.
Just going through. Yeah, Keller, man, that's back in the day. Now
He's a good
we're
dude.
growing up. Well, what do you think? Podcast 13.
I don't know. Let's run it by our guest. You got anything else you want to talk about there, Matt?
I don't know.
This would have been a good time to have that bigger studio that we were talking about before
Yeah.
this got started, where we could have had like Tim here too, because Tim's his right hand man. Tim's a good
Yeah,
dude.
Furch is gonna get in here.
Being my right hand man is not a fun job. Where's
But he
the
seems to do it with a smile.
where's this rapid
I'm a
fire
best
round?
friend.
I heard I was gonna get to tell
Well,
everybody
before
what my
we-
favorite cereal
Before
was.
we end,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I have a couple. Before we end, remember that he's giving away a North Country Guide Service sweatshirt. The code was said sometime. Message us on Facebook the code to get in a chance to win. Don't forget to like his Facebook page. If you have any questions, hit him up, hit us up, message us, add topics. You want to know anything more about him, he is willing to talk. That's what he's here for, as he says. That's what we're all here for. But don't forget YouTube subscribe, Facebook subscribe. I think we're almost on Stitcher Radio,
Yeah, that's
so
good.
that's future. But yeah, YouTube, SoundCloud, Player FM, Google Play, iTunes, all that stuff. Subscribe, share, like, comment.
We're trying to get like peanut butter and just spread everywhere.
Yeah. We had our, it was fun having our awesome guest. We've had some pretty, in our life, some pretty awesome guests so far. So it was awesome to have you in. But let's finish it off with some questions. One of the questions that you asked someone was the Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Star Wars question.
Empire or Rebellion?
Ask that, yeah.
Empire.
Nice.
Empire.
Nice.
All right.
That's
if
easy.
you, cereal-wise, Lucky Charms or Fruit Loops? And they're both super sugary. Or would you rather me throw a healthy one in there like...
I'm more like a Honey Bunches of Oats, Raisin Bran kind of guy.
I
But if I had to choose one of those two,
Do
I'd
you
go
pick
Lucky
the raisins
Charms.
out?
No.
Okay. I don't either. I'm kind of getting on that... there's a strawberry one too that's out there that is good too, but I like the raisin ones. All right, open water ice fishing.
Oh, it depends on the species, but overall,
Do one of each then.
overall, I'd say ice fishing,
It's good. You just
which is
kept
so
your job.
weird.
No, I'm
Why?
with you on that.
But isn't it weird?
It is
Why?
weird.
It's 'cause
It's cold.
you
It's
grew up here.
miserable.
Yeah,
It's
stupid.
It's hard on your joints and your back, but
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it is. Well, I know what it is for me because I lived 7 years out of the state, and I didn't ice fish for 7 years. So when I came back, it hit me on how unique the sport really is
It
to
is.
the area, and I just I'd rather ice fish.
You know, something about everything that I chase, there's a little bit of a chess match.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with ice fishing, the chess match is much stronger or more difficult because you're so stuck. Like in a boat, the chess match isn't really that hard. I just go down the shoreline a little ways
Right.
farther, and there they are.
Right.
But if I look and I want to walk down that shoreline, it's one
Right.
daunting, shitty task.
I've been on some really long walks before.
So maybe it's the chess match.
Canadian bacon. Is it bacon or really thin round ham?
Thin round ham.
Nice. Again, Nux.
Pineapples on your pizza?
Oh yeah,
I
love
need to
love
make sure
pineapples on the
Who
pizza.
is this guy?
I know. I love
We're
it.
agreeing 100%.
And I'm not a Canadian bacon fan. I love Canadians, and I'm a huge bacon fan. I just don't like the
The
combination.
combination of the two.
Because it's just round, thin ham. It's
Right.
not bacon.
And I like ham, but
Yeah.
if I do a pizza, I do pepperoni pineapple.
Pepperoni pineapple.
Oh,
We did
solid,
that.
yeah.
We did that just the other day after
Nice.
talking about it on a podcast. That was
Word.
the best way to put it. Ducks or geese? You're getting a longer version because I'm thinking of a couple.
Geese.
Geese. All right. All right. Do you have one to ask, Patrick?
I get to ask
Yeah,
questions.
Sure,
What
yeah.
the heck? Just ask him one. I don't know. This is something we're just. I got a minute here.
Bluegills or crappies?
Ooh.
Bluegills.
Always.
Always.
All right. That was an easy one. I knew the answer before I even asked it.
You should.
But you
have
throw
it.
bullheads in there, and both crappies and bluegills are void.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm chasing records.
You're loving.
Always
You're
chasing
loving the
records.
roughies.
No idea.
Well, season episode 13
Done.
with Matt Breuer
Okay,
in the
here
house.
we go.
All right, here we go.
Deciding moment. Now.
My name's Aaron,
I'm Matt.
I'm Patrick.
and this is
The Broken Line.
Zing. That's where it comes in. Zing. It's kind of a really awesome name, right? The
Yeah.
Broken Line. You're talking about fishing, but when the line breaks, man, shit just gets unreal.